you hate MrBeast, what I'm about to show you will seem unethical and like a clear abuse of fame for money.
Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me, and their bank account.
MrBeast has built his brand on generosity, but a closer look reveals he's also been quietly profiting from his investments. A pattern of 3 separate incidents has emerged, all involving cryptocurrency deals that played out in a similar way. The person who uncovered this isn't just a critic, but a trusted expert who has helped YouTube expose financial scams. The story begins with an NFT project from 2021, when pixelated images were selling for real money and being hailed as the future of the internet. MrBeast publicly endorsed CryptoPunks, a set of collectible images, telling his audience they were worth checking out. However, what happened behind the scenes is more revealing. According to Coffeezilla, MrBeast invested $100,000 in a related crypto project called Super, buying in early before it gained attention. Soon after, millions of Super tokens appeared in his wallet, not due to any clever strategy, but because of a classic pump scheme. By getting in early and waiting for his public endorsement to drive up interest, MrBeast was able to cash in on the hype.
MrBeast sold about $200,000 worth of these tokens.
A significant $200,000 worth of tokens were sold, and the timing is what's truly noteworthy. On May 12th, MrBeast responded to a hype post with a simple tweet that read Super, which was seen by millions of followers. Within 72 hours, the exact chunk of tokens in question had been sold, a coincidence that bears a striking resemblance to a pump and dump scheme. As attention turned to this pattern, MrBeast's team was forced to address it, and their response relied on a specific explanation, one that would later be repeated, a convenient justification that raised more questions than it answered.
Quote, "These investments were made and managed in consultation with industry experts to ensure full compliance with all appropriate rules and regulations. The wallet is not owned or managed by Jimmy, but rather a fund led by respected and sophisticated managers. The fund closely evaluated and scrutinized hundreds and hundreds of opportunities, which resulted in several investments. Some have been more successful, others less, and others still works in progress. The fund's investment strategies apply the same rigorous standards as many other experienced investors in the field."
The statement can be boiled down to a simple fact. It was not Jimmy, but rather a fund managed by unnamed, supposedly sophisticated managers who coincidentally made the same calls as Jimmy at the same time. The term sophisticated is quite generous, given the lack of oversight and the unrefined nature of the crypto industry. If this explanation is genuine, one would expect the team to be transparent and answer basic questions to clear up any confusion. However, when Coffeezilla attempted to get some answers, the outcome was far from forthcoming.
"I didn't get a response."
For months, there was complete silence, a strategy that raises more questions than answers. This silence is particularly suspicious when considering the wallet behind the operation wasn't even publicly confirmed as MrBeast's. Instead, it was linked to an account called Wu Tang Clan, which is tied to a crypto enthusiast named Jason Williams. MrBeast had previously discussed buying CryptoPunks alongside Logan Paul after Gary Vee convinced them to invest in a late-night call. This suggests MrBeast was personally involved in the decision-making process, contradicting the idea that he was hands-off. The most alarming example, however, is the Earn token, which was part of a charity auction for Team Seas, MrBeast's ocean cleanup initiative. The auction was supposed to run for 2 months, but halfway through, MrBeast's fund allegedly dumped $2 million worth of Earn tokens, causing the token's value to plummet and leaving investors with worthless coins. This incident undermines the charitable intentions of the project and raises serious concerns about MrBeast's involvement.
Because regardless of your intentions, selling tokens within a month of your 2-month charity auction is wrong, stupid, and unethical? Yes, I think that as well.
Selling the exact token linked to his own charity during a live auction he organized is more than just unethical. It's diverting funds from people who thought they were supporting ocean cleanup. This move is essentially taking money away from the cause and using it for exit liquidity instead. What's even more ironic is that one of Team C's sponsors is Coca-Cola, a company consistently ranked as a major plastic polluter. This means an ocean cleanup charity is being sponsored by a company contributing heavily to the problem it's trying to solve. The situation is made worse by the fact that investors got excited about XCAD, a project centered around creator-specific tokens, including those tied to MrBeast and KSI, only to be let down. The idea had potential, but its execution has been marred by questionable decisions, and MrBeast has inadvertently put this controversy in the spotlight.
In fact, the only reason we know MrBeast was in the presale is that there were several articles about it bragging about that fact. Once again, MrBeast's name was used to promote this instead of the fund itself. And internally to investors, I have to say, this built up a lot of excitement, not just because MrBeast is a huge name, but because XCAD had what's called creator tokens. So the idea to some investors is that, well, if they're investing MrBeast and KSI, what if they were ever to launch creator tokens? That would be massive.
The mere possibility of two major platform figures launching creator tokens swiftly drew significant investment into the project. Allegedly, MrBeast's fund began flipping XCAD tokens soon after their launch, despite public commitments to hold them long-term. The XCAD founder directly warned that such actions would harm MrBeast's reputation. However, the fund reportedly disregarded this warning, continuing its sales. Consider Super, Earn, and XCAD. These three projects, with distinct tokens and timelines, exhibit an identical pattern. Leverage MrBeast's name to generate hype, allow value to rise on investor trust, then discreetly sell before the hype dissipates, leaving others with depreciated assets. A single instance might be a fluke, but three identical occurrences are undeniable. What makes this behavior particularly indefensible is that MrBeast, despite once claiming to be broke, has no financial need for these alleged profits.
No one ever believes anything I say. So, I mean, because they're like, you're a billionaire. I'm like, that's net worth. I have negative money right now. I'm borrowing money. That's how little money I have. Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me in their bank account if you subtract the equity value of my company, which doesn't buy me McDonald's in the morning or whatever.
It's hard to believe he was driven by necessity, given his massive online presence and wealth. Instead, it appears he's exploiting the trust of his fans, who invested their own savings based on his reputation alone to squeeze out even more profit. Coffeezilla deserves credit for not oversimplifying the situation, acknowledging that there's more to the story than just a clear-cut villain.
If you love MrBeast, there will be an explanation at every turn and a scapegoat. But if you hate MrBeast, what I'm about to show you will seem unethical and like a clear abuse of fame for money.
Depending on your perspective of MrBeast, this situation offers either convenient explanations or a clear instance of fame exploited to extract money from fans on three separate occasions. The core issue behind all three deals remains undeniable. MrBeast's immense influence means his name alone can move real markets. Fans invest because they trust him directly, not an anonymous fund manager they have never heard of. Such influence demands real responsibility, including the basic obligation to answer direct questions instead of disappearing for months when issues arise. This entire controversy could have been avoided with genuine transparency from the start, or by simply steering clear of the internet's most unregulated corners. Instead, we find unanswered questions, a recycled excuse used 3 times, and a growing list of fans who trusted a name only to be left with tokens worth next to nothing. This raises the crucial question. Across 3 separate deals, all following the exact same pattern, was this truly just a string of bad judgment calls from people MrBeast trusted to handle his money? Or as it was my fund, not me, simply the most convenient excuse in all of crypto for a fortune that somehow continues to grow anyway?